Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to another episode of the Four Corners podcast right here on the Four Corners Network. I am one of your hosts, John Punn, sitting alongside my best friend, my partner in crime, my plutonic lover, Kris Rex. Yes, how are you doing today? What an episode. We're going to be talking about some good stuff tonight.
Yes, this is our ninth episode of the Four Corners podcast. We made it this far, Pun. We made it this
Nine,
far.
almost double
I'm
digits.
excellent and improving. This show is excellent and improving. Um, we do have a big announcement that we've been teasing for some weeks now. It is still coming. It's not like we put the kibosh on it. It's coming. Timing is everything, folks. Today we have some things to talk about. That I actually want to get into before we talk about the pay-per-views tonight. Um, Last week we talked about William Regal coming back to WWE, and apparently the reasons why are the immaturity of the locker room,
Yep.
um, and, uh, and apparently he wants to be able to coach his son in NXT, who I didn't even know was Dempsey. I didn't even know that was his son. But yeah, but there is a stipulation in his contract fund that states he cannot appear on TV
TV for a year.
for a year till 2024, which is
Mhm.
so. William Regal's contract, he had it in there that he could leave at any time, which is who wouldn't want that contract, right? If at
Mhm.
any time that I feel this is ain't doing, I'm out. That's a first. I think I've never heard of that before.
Yep, yep, you're
That
absolutely right.
contract. Um,
All right, so yep, and today we're going to be talking about the two pay-per-views that just ended. We had Ring of Honor's Final Battle, and we had NXT's Deadline. All
yes.
right, today we're going to do things a little different. Chris Rex, my best friend over here, he's going to run the play-by-play of the Ring of Honor Final Battle. I'll add in my 2 cents. We both did watch both shows.
Yep.
And I'm going to give, the play-by-play of NXT's Deadline, and we're gonna have fun tonight. So,
Yep.
Chris Rex, why don't you start with the Ring of Honor Final Battle?
Okay. On the 0 hour. All right. We had a match that I was really looking forward to. We had Willow Nightingale versus Trisha Dora as one of the matches on there. There's about four matches on the 0 hour. Um, I was really looking forward to Willow Nightingale specifically because of the fact that one, she was a former Ring of Honor talent on the I guess the older era of Ring of Honor, and she's also a New York gal from NYWC. So shout out to NYWC and Willow Nightingale. Um, we opened up with Jeff Cobb versus Mascata Dorada, which that was a pretty good opening match. The next match, Jericho Appreciation Society defeated Shinobi Shadow Squad, which was
Yeah.
Cheeseburger and Eli Isom. Bro, here's one thing is that we kept talking about is the AEW influence within Ring of Honor.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think putting Jericho Appreciation Society, I understand Jericho is a champion and they're doing that, but I thought this was going to be the show that put that this is Ring of Honor. I thought we were going to get this big announcement.
Me too. I thought we was gonna see more of the Ring of Honor original talent going over. But we did see a lot of it with Joe retaining and Claudio winning.
Yeah.
We did see, mainstay talents, shine of Ring of
Mhm.
Honor's past.
But the thing is you at some point you have to treat it as its own brand, and this was a start.
I gotta say it was a start, and I gotta say with all the title changes that happened, I think they are going to be pushing for Ring of Honor to be a separate brand. And I think
I just thought we were gonna have like some sort of announcements from Tony Khan that they had a TV deal or that we're gonna do touring. Like I said when we were watching, they had put up a graphic for AEW dates, their dates that they're touring, and it's like what did I said? Where are the Ring of Honor dates?
they're not there yet. That's what I said. They don't have any dates yet. This is just starting up. It's a process. It is a process, man. And I think Tony Khan might be taking his time to do it correctly. Maybe.
we had Top Flight taking on the Kingdom, which just was an amazing match.
Mm-hmm.
This was, I think Top Flight's a little bit too fast. Like I'm not saying that fast is bad. I'm saying they just need to slow it down a little bit, which is something Joel always told me. I had to, just slow it down a little bit.
That was the hype. That was the nerves. That was the adrenaline.
But I think you want to give the crowd a chance to process what you just did. So do your move, slow it down a bit, taunt, then go into it. It was just boom, 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 which I liked. I did enjoy it, but I just wish they just slowed it down a little bit. I didn't expect Top Flight to go over on the Kingdom. Another thing is that they're an AEW team, Top Flight. I think the Kingdom should have went over. Like really, this should have been okay. We're gonna put Ring of Honor over in this show, unless they plan on whoever's on this show is going to be on Ring of Honor. But you can't do that really because Samoa Joe is also the TNT champion. We had those were the pre-show matches. Now we started off the main show with Blake Christian and AR Fox going against LFI, Rush, and Dralistico. Dralistico making his Ring of Honor debut here. They had said Rush was making his Ring of Honor debut as well, but he was already in Ring of Honor. I think that was just maybe like a little slip up there. But Blake Christian and AR Fox were phenomenal in this match. They went over, which was surprising. I don't know if there was a botch finish there.
Yeah, I think that was a botch finish. I think he was supposed to kick out. I really do think he was supposed to kick out. That's why AR Fox was surprised it was a 3 count.
I thought he was supposed to kick out too. So yeah, there was that. Other than that, I think it was another phenomenal match, a Ring of Honor style match. I think Top Flight versus Kingdom was an ROH style match. I think Blake Christian versus Blake Christian and AR Fox versus LFI. That was a Ring of Honor style match. Like, and again, whether it was a botch finish or not, it was nice to see AR Fox and Blake Christian go over. And if it was a botch finish, they did a nice cover up with the ending of them brawling and everything. I think that was a nice cover up if it was a botch. We had Athena versus Mercedes Martinez for the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship. Athena goes over. It was a good match. A nice, again, ROH. When you think ROH, I think this is a good match. It was shades of their Shimmer feuds. And Athena is the new Ring of Honor Women's World Champion. So I guess it's safe to say we'll see Athena in Ring of Honor, obviously, and defending her belt. And this is the first time she has won the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship. The next match was one that we I think we were excited like the whole match.
Yes.
Just because of how everything broke down. Swerve in Our Glory versus Shane Taylor Promotions. Now, I know Shane Taylor. I had him on Wrestling with a Bear. We did our first interview with him, and he had talked about Keith Lee. And he had talked about his team with Keith Lee and how they were supposed to win the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. And so I kind of knew the story going in. So this is the first time they've ever been able to meet like face to face since Keith Lee got signed to WWE and got released. This was great storytelling in this match.
Yes.
From beginning to end.
I agree, definitely. Showing their past together and everything.
And then you add in the factor of the current problems with Shane Strickland and Keith Lee.
Yep, the no pound on the ramp when they came out to the ring to start it off. Swerve walked away.
Mm-hmm.
The whole drama.
With being from New York, you throw your fist out and someone walks away, bro.
That's disrespect, bro.
Disrespect straight up. That's
grounds
for an ass beat.
You're gonna get yours. Yep. Get yours.
And during the match, Keith Lee inadvertently knocked out Swerve Strickland, and that kind of broke everything down to where when Keith Lee needed him, he just walked away.
Walked up the ramp. And Keith Lee still survived the onslaught and won the match
Yes.
by himself.
Yes. I'd like to see how things break down again. This is something that's intertwining AEW with Ring of Honor. Now, you brought up a point while we were watching the match. Does Swerve join Shane Taylor Promotions, or does Keith Lee go back with his former partner Shane Taylor?
I would rather Keith Lee do it.
Keith Lee join.
To be honest, Keith Lee, Shane Taylor, and Robinson. Ooh, what was his name? Griffin.
Griffey. JD Griffey.
Yeah, I think that's a nice fucking trio right there.
100%, man. I think that's a good.
I think Swerve needs to come back to the E. Actually,
yeah.
With the Hit Row, man, I think he needs to be with them. I really do. I really do think Swerve needs to get out. Keith Lee doesn't have to. Keith Lee will be a star either way. Swerve, I think he needs to be with Hit Row.
You think he's
I
better
think Hit Row is missing that piece.
Yeah.
I think Swerve needs to be there.
Yeah. Next up, we had the Embassy. Well, the newest formation of the Embassy: Brian Cage and Gates of Agony, Khan and Toa Leona with Prince Nana against Dalton Castle and the Boys for the Ring of Honor World Six-Man Tag Team Championship. I'm a big fan of Dalton Castle and the Boys. I love the gimmick. I love his intensity. You notice he never changes that face. He keeps his eyes bugged out the whole time. I love it. And I remember Joel had booked him for FSW, and he had the Boys. He actually used two of our students as the Boys that night. But this was a good match. I liked adding Brian Cage in the Embassy. The Embassy has history with Ring of Honor, and I like kind of Brian Cage being in there with two guys that were with Ring of Honor, like during, I guess it's dying days before Tony Khan bought it out. The Embassy are the new Ring of Honor tag champions. So we got some title changes here tonight.
Yeah. Only one stood the same out of all the titles.
Yeah. Next up, we had the ROH Pure Championship. Wheeler Yuta versus Daniel Garcia in a Pure Rules match. I like the Pure Rules match. I love this match.
I loved how they started off with the punches. I love the whole concept of the Pure Championship, the Pure Rules. The match was phenomenal. Wheeler Yuta, two-time champion now, first two-time Pure champion. And they were fucking from bell to bell. They were going at it.
It reminded me of old school NWA shit.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It did. Right. And no two better people. When I think of the lineage and the prestige of the Ring of Honor Pure Championship, because we used to watch Ring of Honor back in 2005. 2006, 2007. We would watch Ring of Honor, and I was a fan of Ring of Honor back in 2003 when I was living in Florida. The Pure Championship, I think Wheeler Yuta and Daniel Garcia both kind of represent that perfectly in their wrestling style and abilities. Yeah. Next up, another match that reminded me of NWA, reminded me of Ring of Honor. When I think of Ring of Honor, the Briscoes versus FTR for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships.
My pick for match of the night right there. I think this was match.
Double dog collar match, first time ever. Double dog collar match.
I think it was match of the night. The match was crazy. They were all leaking. Even the referee took a juice bump, whatever you want to call it. It was just entertainment from bell to bell. They used the collars beautifully. The spots, the hard hitting. I don't even know, man. It was the match of the night.
That was not the match to watch if you were having dinner with your family. That was a blood fest. I mean, but it reminded me of like old school wrestling. Like,
that is what FTR stands for. That is what Briscoes are known for. That old school mentality, that old school style of wrestling, the respect that all four of them have for each other. To trust each other to do all that they did.
And at the end of the night, and at the end of the match, we got new Ring of Honor 13 times.
Ring of Honor tag team champions.
Hats off to both tag teams.
Yep.
I mean, when I do tag team wrestling, and how passionate we are about tag team wrestling, to see a
Yeah.
match like this should have been main event. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it should have.
No matter what was happening with Jericho and Claudio, this should have been main event.
Yeah, because the
This
match,
should have closed out.
that main event match didn't live up to a main event match. It's just, the ending was good.
I
The
agree with
ending
you.
was different.
Match of the night. Hats off to now 13-time Ring of Honor tag team champions. Them boys, the Briscoes. I've met them a few times. They're fucking some crazy dudes, but you know what? They're fucking some of the hardest workers in that ring. They're so passionate about this business and what they stand for in this business. And they are definitely, when you think of top 10 tag teams, Briscoes better be on that motherfucking list. Next up, we had the Ring of Honor Television Championship. Samoa Joe versus Juice Robinson. I really, when I posted my most wanted matches for the match I'm most looking forward to seeing, this was not on that list. I didn't think
Bruce
that
Robinson impressed. He's getting better and better and better ever since leaving WWE and going to Japan.
Yeah, man. And I was impressed by this match. I really was. Samoa Joe is still the Ring of Honor World Title Champion.
And he's still one of the best in the world.
Television, my bad, World Television Champion.
His skill, his age, his skill, he is still one of the best to lace up boots.
Yeah, man. This was the only title not to change hands tonight. And it kind of seems like they're trying to start that new era of Ring of Honor with the title changes. I think Samoa Joe represents Ring of Honor. You can't take that. Like, no, he's a good fit with that. Keep him there. That was good not to change that title. In our main event, we had Claudio Castagnoli versus Chris Jericho for the Ring of Honor World Championship.
Ocho.
The Ocho. If Claudio lost, he would have to join the Jericho Appreciation Society. Again, the AEW intertwining. I get that AEW was the only TV to kind of put Ring of Honor over right now, but at the same time, it's Ring of Honor needs something of their own by now. If you're going to keep doing pay-per-views, they need their own show to build up on.
Yeah, I agree.
They do, and I don't mean a show on YouTube. They need a TV network show.
Yeah. And as much as roster separated from the AEW roster.
As much as people are streaming and using streaming services, there are people who are watch traditional television still. WWE still airs on traditional television still, even though they have deals with streaming services. Ratings still matter. I mean, they need their own show to build towards the pay-per-views. Having a few minutes, having a total of maybe an hour's TV time on AEW isn't enough to build up a 3-hour show.
You're absolutely right.
Especially with the talent you have to put over and the championship matches, and they need the angles. They need to be I need to be invested. You need to be invested. The fans need to be invested.
Yeah,
right now, the investment in Ring of Honor is what's going to happen. That's the investment in Ring of Honor now. Okay, where are they going to go?
Yep, I agree 100%.
But we do have a new Ring of Honor World Champion, and that is Claudio. It was a good match. I
love the ultimate swing, the swinging and Jericho tapping on that. That's different. That's new.
It was different.
I like that.
I just don't think like you said, I don't think it was main event, Kyle, especially after seeing with the Briscoes, like you have to do something crazy.
Joe and Juice had a great match.
Yeah.
I think it was better than the main event.
Yeah. And I think after those matches, like you need something that's gonna top that. The main event has to be the top. And I think that a little card switching wouldn't have been bad. No one knew exactly the order of the matches beforehand. It's not like we knew the order. So you could easily switch it up and like, you know what? Maybe since these guys are going to do all this stuff, this is going to be a blood fest. This is a good way to end and kind of end on a note like this is Ring of Honor. that match, ending on that, and with that, like, this is what Ring of Honor is about. I think that match, because remember, they're still trying to attract new fans.
Yeah.
So if that match ended
And
and I'm a
bring
new
back
fan,
and bring back old ones also.
exactly, and if I'm an older fan that lost my interest, or I'm a new fan just watching, that's the main event. That's how it ends. I'm like, ooh, this is what Ring of Honor is. Okay, I can't wait to see more main events.
Yeah, I think moving on to NXT, I think the first match of NXT was better than the main event of Ring of Honor's Final Battle.
You know what? Let's get into NXT, Punn.
All right, so we have NXT Deadline, 5 stacked matches in a nice 2-hour card.
See, before you get into that's another thing. Again, with the fucking 12 total fucking matches, bro.
Yeah. So
Jesus.
big pace of shows. We went from 12 matches in 4 hours to 5 matches in 2 hours. And we opened with the first Iron Survivor match, which,
yes.
Okay, those of you that don't know, haven't paid attention to NXT, it is a 5-person, pretty much scramble match. 2 people start, every 5 minutes, another one comes in. It's a 25-minute match. The most pinfall submissions, even disqualifications, are counted into your pinfall totals. If you are pinned, submitted, or lose by disqualification, you go into a penalty box for 90 seconds. Now,
who were the participants in this match, Punn?
First, I was a little skeptical of the rules of this match and how is it going to go. So starting off the first 2, we have Roxanne and Zoe Stark start off the match, and it was great. Zoe Stark, man, she has miles and miles and miles since she first came to NXT. I'm starting to become a fan more and more of Roxanne Perez, but I think Cora Jade deserves that spot, but we'll get to that during this match. So they went back and forth. I loved it. I love seeing what was going on. The third person to come out was Kiana James, which I knew she was just a filler in the match, but she did some good ass shit in that match.
Yeah.
I know she wasn't there as she may win, whatnot. We knew she wasn't gonna have a chance, but she fucking impressed.
I think that was the whole thing. Of everybody knowing and her knowing, all right, I'm a filler. Let me show them why I shouldn't be a filler. I should be part of this story,
Mm-hmm. Yep. So she did her thing. Zoe Stark ends up getting the first fall early when those 3 were in. I don't remember, exactly how the force went about. Fourth to come out was Cora Jade, which, man, for coming in this business at 19 years old, she's like 21 now, 22, and she is main event material. She is off the hook superstar. She's the total package. But yeah, Cora Jade, awesome. I thought she was winning it. I was pulling for her. I really was. She came in and got a quick 1-4, so it was 1-1 with her and Zoe Stark. I know when Indy Hartwell came in last, she caught a quick pinfall. So, everybody had the ones. Roxanne got the one late, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
They were all tied going down towards the final minutes. Cora Jade got, pinned by Roxanne at the very end with like less than 2 minutes in. So Roxanne went up 2-1 on everybody. And Cora Jade was stuck in the fucking penalty box, screaming, cursing, and she couldn't come out. Roxanne survived. Nobody got another pinfall. And Roxanne survives. And she was the first woman Iron Survivor and is now the #1 contender for Mandy Rose, which we've seen that already. That's why, I would have liked to see Cora Jade, Indy Hartwell were my picks
I
to
was thinking the same.
win this match. But
I was thinking the same. I would have liked to see Indy. I would have liked to see Cora
it is
or
push,
Zoe.
maybe they are going to push for Roxanne to take the title off of Mandy. Maybe that is where it's going to lead to. But I guess time will tell. All right. So the second match was
Alba
Fire versus what's her name?
Isla Dawn.
Isla Dawn. 2 foreigners with funny voices. I love their accents. That promo before the match had me dying. Vicky's telling me, my wife is telling me I'm fucked up. I'm just laughing. And It was just awesome. I love foreigners. I love their voices. Oscar's still number one for me, but man, that was fun to watch. It was a good match too.
Yeah.
Alba Fire is phenomenal, man. I'm waiting for her big push. I wonder why it always seems like she's gonna get pushed to a women's title match, and then she always gets sidelined with another rivalry.
Yeah.
You know,
What's funny is I had people over that they don't really watch wrestling, and then, of course I had it on, so they were watching it. And this match, they enjoyed this match. Like, so for a non-wrestling fan to come in and not know the story or anything, but be like, okay, and their favorite was Fire.
I like the Isle of Dawn possession thing, the black poison coming out of the ref's mouth.
I didn't like that. I was like, ah.
I think they could have done it better.
Yeah.
It's WWE. You could have done that better. All right, you're not MLW. You're not. Come on, that's something you could have put more into. But I like the idea of it, and I like that they gave Dawn the win. You know, it's time to build also new superstars. Alba Fire is built. She's already main event material. I like that they gave her the win. But I think they could have done that scene a lot better. And I like her finisher.
Yeah.
I like that club that she the reverse DDT position into the club. I like that. That's pretty dope for her. All right. Next, we moved into the tag team title match.
This one's
And we have the New Day challenging Pretty Deadly for the NXT Tag Team Championships, which was just put together Tuesday as a surprise to everybody. And it was a great match, but to my surprise, the New Day won the titles.
I was just gonna say that. I didn't want to cut you off, but like when they announced this match, I just thought the idea in my head said, "How wouldn't it be funny if they won?" Like I was just it was. I didn't think it was actually going to happen.
But I didn't think they were going to win it that quickly without at least a build to this. So now that the build is going to be pretty deadly trying to get the.
I think it's to throw a curveball in NXT.
But yep. But but my thing is, why the New Day?
To throw that into exactly what we're doing. Why? Like,
why the New Day?
I think they're trying to make, like, remember when ECW, when they used to just bring people in and you're like, holy shit, like I would never expect him to show up.
That's exactly how I felt with the New Day. And then when they won the titles, I'm like, holy shit, really? They won the titles? I can't believe it.
I think they're trying to throw these little curveballs to keep it interesting and to kind of also show it's not developmental,
It's not developmental. It is mainstream. It is even with Raw and SmackDown.
Yes, it's a brand.
That Mandy Rose is still fucking women's champion there. Who else went there? Dolph Ziggler went there.
Yeah.
Apollo Crews is back there now. So I get it. I see what they're doing. I get it. But the New Day was a big shock, though. Was the big shock. They are, I guess, the biggest names you can say to show up on NXT from the main roster and now become champion. Yeah. And they never ever were on NXT. Neither one of them.
Xavier Woods was.
Neither one of them.
Xavier Woods was on NXT.
But that was nothing. It was before he went to Impact when he was on NXT.
No, it was what do you mean? It was after he came from Impact.
It was when he came back. All right.
He only went to Impact once.
No, I remember. That's when he started his preacher gimmick.
Yeah. He was doing the dancing gimmick, and then he did the preacher gimmick.
Yeah. It's coming.
And then that's what led to New Day.
Yeah, it's coming back to me now. When he went to SmackDown and tried to build his group. All right, yep. But yeah, New Day, new tag team champions. Let's see where this goes. It is going to lead to a pretty deadly rematch, but let's see what they do with it. Then,
do you think we're going to see more of this kind of throwing people that kind of aren't being used right now and using them on NXT? Because I think that's another factor.
I think so, a little bit, but after WrestleMania, the next draft. Yes, a couple of weeks after WrestleMania will be the next draft. So I think they're testing waters right now.
You know what? I think we both make 3 good points here on the fact that is to keep it interesting, is to do something with guys they're not really doing something with right now, and to test for that draft.
Instead of
good.
talking about getting called up, I think NXT should be brought in on the draft.
Right.
3 equal shows, 3 equal playing fields. Anybody could draft anybody. And, I wouldn't mind seeing like the Usos being drafted to the NXT as champions, something like that. Or even Austin Theory, or who's the other mid card champion? Gunther.
Yeah.
Gunther was already in NXT, so no. And both of them actually, no. But to mix shit up, I wouldn't mind seeing WWE titles get drafted over. North American title gets drafted over. Crazy, do right from the first draft. Do crazy shit. Get NXT in it. Make it a main thing. There's no more getting called up. That's out the window. There's no calling up anymore. Every brand is equal. Put them all in the draft. We have enough.
I like that. I like that idea.
I think that's where they should go with it. I hope that maybe where Triple H isn't thinking. But we'll see come after WrestleMania. Now, the 4th match was the men's Iron Survivor match, which was fucking awesome. Awesome. So we start off with J.D.
McDonough.
All right. And Axiom, they start the McDonough. The way it's spelled and the way it's pronounced is not the same way. Okay? So
it's an Irish last name.
McDonough.
It's an Irish last name.
It is. But, and Axiom, they started off, they did a lot of cool shit.
What's his name again?
J.D. McDonough.
McDonough?
McDonough, yeah, something like that. Right, Axiom, McDonough. They wanted to start off against each other, so they got their wish. It was awesome. They went at it. If I'm not mistaken, J.D. McDonough got a pinfall before the third person came out, which
was it Grayson Waller, right?
No, he was last.
Gacy?
No, wait. Who's the other one in the match?
Carmelo.
That's who came out next. Carmelo Hayes came out next, yes. All right. And then he came in, immediately tied it up, and then he went up 2. So now there's 3 of them. He's got 2. JD's got 1. Out comes Gacy. Gacy comes, immediately gets 2 pins also. Boom. Waller comes out, hits his move on 2 people, pins both of them one after another, gets 2. I was loving the action like that and the pinfalls like that. It was awesome.
Then I think they did it a little bit
up on 2 also. Everybody had 2 except for McDonough. He didn't. No. It was McDonough who didn't have it. It was Axiom who had that first. Axiom got 2. McDonough didn't have no pinfalls throughout order. So everybody had 2. It was crazy because then at the end, McDonough was trying to get pinfalls, trying to catch up at that.
I think they did this a little bit more crisper than the women did.
Mm-hmm. And I like the extra 4. I mean, I like the women's 1-1-1-1 tie, and I like this 2-2.
No, I'm saying just the way they perform. I think they did this a lot more crisp and a lot more like timing friendly. Like everything seemed a lot more on point than the women's match.
I think, man, Gacy is ready for that push to the moon, man. I think he's ready for it. I wanted to see it. I was surprised that Grayson Waller got the win and the third pinfall and the victory. I thought if anybody was going to get it, was going to be Carmelo Hayes, but I was pushing for Gacy. Oh, man, I wanted Gacy to win it so bad. He is so good in the ring, getting better and better. He's like, Kevin Owens, the fat, out of shape, but fucking great at what he does. He is fucking talented, and I want to see him get fucking pushed. But Grayson Waller is something new, something different in the main event scene. He hasn't been there yet. He's been in a lot of mid-card nice rivalries, but he hasn't been, actually he has. He did wrestle Breaker, if I'm not mistaken. He's already wrestled Breaker.
I really don't keep up with too much NXT, so I can't.
Yeah, no, if I'm not mistaken.
That for you.
It was him. It was a triple threat too. I think that's when Dolph was involved. I think it was when Dolph Ziggler was involved also.
I think okay, I think so too. You know,
They
I'm trying to remember.
they were involved. But yep. All right. So Grayson Waller is now the number one contender for the winner of the main event.
Now, before we get into the main event,
The
the
promo.
promos, the way they did these promos with them meeting at the restaurant and then him going fishing, I liked it because it was so like, you know what? That's fucking respect. You know, instead of the wrestling promo, it's a, you know what? Let me see how you live your lifestyle. I'll show you how I live my lifestyle, and let's talk like men.
Yeah. Hang out, talk like men, talk shit.
Which is funny because that's what I kind of want to do with my promos. Is like, you know, instead of like sitting there fucking doing a wrestling promo, I'd sit there, you know, smoking with them. Like, yeah, listen, I know you do this, and that, but you gotta watch out for this from me because I could hit that at any moment on you, you know, and like just a like a different dynamic to it. Like, why does it always got to be in your face and I hate you and I'm gonna? And it's yo,
Yep, I
we're
like
men. Yeah, I'll go fishing with you. I'll take your invite to go fishing with you. You know, that's also kind of like also think ahead of you. Like, oh, he's inviting me out. Let me see what I can. You know, it's thinking one step ahead, and I like the way they did it. It's a different dynamic to promos, and I think I'd like to see something more of that. It was like such a manly fucking promo. Like it reminded me of Rocky with Apollo Creed and Rocky Balboa.
and it's things for me to take notes too, because Deep Impact Wrestling will be back. And when I bring it as an independent wrestling promotion, I'm gonna have ideas. I'm gonna take ideas from everywhere that I love and my own ideas that I've been fucking building in here for years. And I'm gonna incorporate a lot of cool stuff, and I like that. That was really awesome. But let's get into the match. It wasn't really spectacular, but it told a good story. It showed the respect they have for each other. I really thought they were going to bring Apollo Crews in and give him the title. He was going to hit that mountaintop that he didn't reach the first time. So I wonder where this story is going to lead now with him.
I think they are going to give it to him. Let him chase it. I didn't think they were going to give it to him tonight with
their storyline, with what they're doing with the Respect Iron Man match.
That's what I was going to say. They're going to have a nice blow off match to see who's really the man, and that's what we're going to see Apollo Crews take. Yes,
I think an Iron Man match. They did Last Man Standing with the girls. All right, they've done ladder matches and all that a lot. I haven't seen an Iron Man match on NXT in quite a while. I think the last one was an Iron Man women's match, 30 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. Iron women's match.
Yeah.
All right, so
I'd like to see the hour Iron Man's match.
Yeah, and I think Braun and Apollo Crews. Ooh.
And think about the promos build up to that. If they keep that same style of.
But now with Grayson Waller as the number one contender, I don't think Apollo Crews is really still in the mix right now.
Which I like. I like what they did. They brought back the whole throw up the credits at the end, the little thing, and boom, something happens right after. You think the show's ending, and boom, they had Grayson Waller attack Braun Breaker, and I think it throws a curveball in there, but I don't think Grayson I think they're gonna have the match, and Grayson Waller is just
Yeah. I don't think he's ready to be the NXT champion yet. He will be. All right, and this is good to get his feet wet, in the main event spot, but I don't think he's getting it yet. Definitely not.
No. I think this is gonna be something like a sidetrack from Apollo, and then boom, they're gonna get right back to business.
And who was Waller? Wasn't Grayson Waller just messing with Duke and Chase University? You said you don't keep up with NXT.
Yeah.
But he was already in his own storyline, and now he's going right into the main event storyline.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting. I liked it. I think it was a good show. 5 matches, not overboard. It was awesome. The 2 Iron Survivor matches were 25 minutes, so that did take up a lot of the show. But I still like that it was only 5 matches, and all good matches. A little confused by some of the winners, but see where it leads.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
I think with
that
that,
that's that's
you know,
pretty much all we have for today.
we can end it there.
Yeah. Once again, like we always say, on behalf of myself and John Punn, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for tuning in to the Four Corners podcast on the Four Corners Network. If you want to stay in touch with us, you can message us. You want to find out what's going on with the latest news and rumors and stay updated with our podcast above Punn's head at Four Corners Net. That's at the number four Corners Net. And you can find me on all social media platforms at Rex Wrestles. That's at REX Wrestles. Punn, let them know where they can find you.
You can only find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, not all social media platforms. That is at John Punn, Jon, no H, Punn. All right, only those three.
Once again, thank each and every one of you for tuning in and starting to make this show a success. We have some new things coming for you in the new year. We've got the big announcement coming on December 20th on the Around the Ropes Network, 9 p.m. Me and Punn will be on. We'll be chatting with them and we'll be revealing some news with them. As always, be excellent to each other and keep supporting pro wrestling.